Some homeowners will see your value when you go on a listing appointment, and some won't. I am on my way to drop off shoe covers, a QR code, all the things to have a listing be ready to go. It's going on the market in a couple of days. And I wanted to share this listing with you because it is in comparison to another one that I didn't get recently. And I think that it's important for us as agents to remember that just because a homeowner doesn't see your value doesn't mean it's not there. And this particular listing that I'm going to now is sort of a rare circumstance for me in that these sellers I did not know from Adam. I received them through something called RBN, which you can definitely check that out. There's no fee or anything to be a referral agent with them, and it's a point system where they do take 50% of the commission, but they are known for having referrals that are higher dollar. And in this case, it's 750,000 is going to be the list price. So not super high dollar, but there's certainly reason for me to take the listing as far as being able to turn a profit. But the interesting part about this is it's very rare at this point in my business that I'm going on a listing appointment when it's not with someone that I've already worked with before or a referral from someone I've worked with before. And I do think that that makes a little bit of a difference when you're going on that listing appointment. If that know, like, trust value is already there, it can be a different story. And when I received this referral from RBN, I said, yes, I am happy to connect with them. And RBN always sends their leads to multiple agents. So I knew from the start that I would be competing. And these sellers were very kind and transparent on me on the Zoom meeting that I set up that they were going to be interviewing 5 different agents. And I know that can sound like a lot, but I support sellers interviewing different agents because when they put that legwork in, they tend to end up with an agent that they feel connected to and trust, and then the transaction goes smoother. So I set up a Zoom with them first because I wanted to get to know them. I wanted them to get to know me. And I am very transparent and direct in how I handle a listing. And I use that Zoom call to lay it all out there. Because if they don't like me on that Zoom call, there is no point in me wasting my time or theirs coming into that house. So we had a very candid conversation. I was very upfront with them about my market knowledge. I was very upfront with them about my commission rate. And we went through all of the details. It was an hour and a half long Zoom call. And then a couple days later, they wanted me to go ahead and come to the house to look at it. We liked each other enough to get to that point. Went through the house. They've been there for almost 10 years. There was quite a bit that was going to need to be done, not in the form of updates because they didn't want to spend a ton of money, but they did need to do certain items like painting the whole house as an example to put its best foot forward. And we discussed all of that. I went ahead and provided them all of my tradesman recommendations before I knew I got the job. And that's a question that I get frequently from newer agents. And sometimes there's kind of some animosity when an agent has provided all these tradesmen and then the seller goes with someone else. For me, I tend not to worry about that. I'm going to show them all of my cards up front. And if they don't pick me, I'm okay with that. And that's the point you want to get to in your business. I really was not expecting to get this listing simply because I know without a doubt that I am absolutely not the cheapest agent that they interviewed. And a lot of times sellers go with the cheapest agent. And that leads me to a listing that I didn't get a couple months ago where it was a referral from someone that I've worked with before. Listing appointment went really well, but I could tell when I dropped my rate sheet on them and showed the different services I provide, I knew I had lost them there, and I'm okay with that because I also know that I'm worth every single penny that I charge. And when I was talking with these sellers, we talked about the commission, and throughout our various meetings leading up to actually getting the listing agreement signed, it is wild to me that one, they hired me because of my local market knowledge and my online presence. Those were the two reasons that they cited hiring me. And I ask outright, especially if it's someone that I don't know, because I like to understand the seller's mindset of why they make a hiring decision. Then they proceeded to share with me that my listing rate was actually 1% higher than the next agent in line. And they still hired me. And oddly enough, which I rarely have this happen, but they said, Amanda, we would pay you more than what you are charging because of everything that you've done for us. And that really stuck with me because they saw the value, they got it, they knew that I was going to be there for them every step of the way. And it's been a great working relationship. I have worked with some special circumstances that they have. I'm very, very one on one with my listings and being that shock absorber. And I knew that that's what they really needed. They've never sold a house before, it's all unknown. They're making this major life change and they saw the value. On the flip side, though, that other seller did not see the value. He only saw dollar signs. And I share that because it really didn't bother me, but it would have earlier in my career, and I would have felt like I did something wrong. And one of my agents who has only been in the business a few years was on that appointment too. And she was saying, oh, I feel like I did something wrong. And that wasn't the case at all. This seller just didn't see the value. And now he went with an agent who promised him some ridiculous price, and his house has been on the market for 2 months now. And yes, I do take a little bit of happiness in that because you get what you pay for. It is proven over and over again. And when I am talking with a home seller, I always share the stat that on average, my listings sell for 3.5% more than the average agent in Northern Virginia. And that's a stat that you should be tracking too, so that as you stack more listings, you can use that. And I don't know anybody who has even an ounce of business sense who would not pay a bit more on the commission, not 3.5% more, to then net a higher profit at the end of the day. And if a seller wants to go with an agent simply because they are the cheapest, that's totally their business. It is not my business, and it doesn't mean that the value isn't there. And I think that is the biggest takeaway from this. I also want to share with you that there was about 25 seconds when I heard that from these sellers that they were going to be interviewing 5 agents, that imposter syndrome crept in and thought, oh, maybe I should lower my commission. It was not very long. And at this point in my career, it really should not. I shouldn't be doing that at all. But I'm human, guys. Transparency. It still happens. And then I thought, absolutely not. With all of the service that I provide, the one on one attention, the personalization of so many components of the listing process, going out and hand sourcing staging items, or making sure that I'm there to meet a house cleaner, or if I need to, I will do a little bit of touch up cleaning like I did for this place on the day of the photo shoot. The cleaner said missed a couple of places. All of that factors into what I charge, and what you charge is completely your business. All I am here to say is make sure that you believe in your value, because if you don't believe in your value, I promise you it's going to cause you to lose listings. I came in on that Zoom call confident. I came in knowing exactly how I run my business, what I provide, and why I'm worth what I charge. And those sellers saw it too. If you know that you are providing the value to justify what you're charging, you will have that confidence to share, this is what my rate is, or this is my service menu with my various rates that you can pick from. It doesn't matter how you run your business or what your commission rate is. What matters is that it's true to you and you actually believe you're worth what you're charging and you are providing that value. And I kind of hate the term providing value now because it's just gotten so played out, but I really can't think of a better way to say it, that your rate is commensurate with the services you provide. And as long as you are doing that and you're delivering on it, There are sellers out there who they are not concerned with hiring the cheapest agent. They're savvy. They are concerned with getting the best price in the shortest time possible for their home. Funny little twist to this comparison of these two listings. I actually had an email from the seller who said that I was basically too expensive. He said my rate was too high. I had an email from him yesterday saying, my house is still sitting on the market. What would you recommend I do? And y'all, it made me laugh so hard because one, I'm not recommending anything. You are under agreement with another agent, and I don't believe in violating the code of ethics. But also, you told me that my rates are too high. But now you're coming to me thinking that I'm going to give you my expertise and advice. No, sir, I don't think so. He got a very polite response back. It's very simple to say, sorry, that would be an ethics violation. You are under agreement with another agent. But people don't know what they don't know. And I think that's a really good example of it's easy to take it personally when we don't get a listing. And I'm not going to say sometimes I still do, just depending on the circumstances. But for the most part, over the years, my skin has gotten thicker. And I've realized that people don't always make the right decision. They don't always do what's best for even their own interests because they're not looking at the big picture. They're just looking at a commission rate. And commission rate does not equate to getting a higher price in a shorter time for your home. It is expertise, it's proven systems, proven marketing, it's the online exposure, it's the market knowledge. There are so many layers to what an agent can bring to the table or not bring to the table. So the next time that you are gearing up for a listing appointment, especially if it's one that you know you're going to be competing with other agents on, make sure that you are entering it with confidence that you know what you bring to the table. You know that you are the agent that can get the job done for the highest price in the shortest amount of time. And if they don't choose you, that's okay. That doesn't mean anything that you've done wrong. Maybe you do need to brush up on your presentation skills a little bit, but I would debate with anyone and everyone that it's more so aligning with clients who see your value. If you're able to showcase it and lay out everything that you provide and they still don't choose you after that, they were not meant to be your client. Exit it with grace. I'm always super kind and polite if someone chooses not to hire me. Even if they don't let me know, there's no hard feelings. And who knows, they may come back to you. And I'll be curious to see what happens if this other seller decides that they want to come back and sign on with us. TBD on that. We shall see. I hope you got some value from this. Make sure that you are brushed up on those listing presentations and having an actual dialogue with the sellers of what it is that they are looking for in the agent they hire to sell their home. Until I see you on the next one, take care.